Hello everyone, this is Anne LeBlanc with Excelsior Classes, and welcome back to my series entitled Why Study American Government. Today we're going to talk about the legislative branch of government. The legislative branch was created by Article 1 of the United States Constitution. The purpose of the legislature is to make the laws. The legislative branch, Congress, was intended by the Founding Fathers to be the most dominant branch of government. Recall that the colonists had just fought a war to end tyranny, so they wanted a branch closest to the people. This was to be the legislative branch, the most dominant branch of government. Our legislative branch, Congress, is bicameral, meaning that it is composed of two houses, the Senate and the House of Representatives. It is the only branch of the national government that is intended to be divided. The House of Representatives is intended to represent the people, and the Senate was originally intended to represent the state legislatures. This changed after the adoption of the 17th Amendment, but prior to that, the state legislators chose the senators. According to James Madison, who is known as the father of the Constitution and later President Madison, he was also the author of the Federalist Papers, and in particular numbers 62 and 63, he stated that the Senate was to be a check on the House, that the Senate would help blend stability with liberty. What does that mean to you, blending of stability and liberty? Let's talk a little bit about the House of Representatives. The number of representatives from each state is based on the state's population, and the number of total representatives was fixed in 1911 at 435 members. Each representative serves a 2-year term with all congressional seats up for election at the same time. The House is the most populous branch of Congress. The census every 10 years determines if state governments should redraw boundaries of congressional districts, and this is called apportionment. The census is actually required by the U.S. Constitution, and our representatives serve 2-year terms. So if a representative introduces legislation in the House and it is passed, it moves on to the Senate for the Senate's consideration. Now, all spending and taxation legislation must originate in the House of Representatives because the House holds the power of the purse. Remember, it is the branch or the chamber that was designed to be the closest to the people. And the House of Representatives has the sole power of impeachment. So what are the qualifications for the House of Representatives? Well, you must be at least 25 years old. You must have been a United States citizen for no fewer than 7 years, and you must be a citizen of the state that you represent. You must actually reside in the congressional district that you represent. And this is to make our representatives more accountable to their constituents, to those who elect them. Let's talk a little bit about the Senate. 2 senators from each state are elected on a statewide or an at-large basis to serve a term of 6 years. Prior to the 17th Amendment, the state legislators actually elected the senators to represent the state governments. After the adoption of the 17th Amendment, the senators are elected in the same manner as our representatives are elected. So what are the qualifications for the Senate? Well, you must be at least 30 years old. You must have been a United States citizen for at least 9 years, and you must be a resident of the state that you represent. Now, the Speaker of the House is the only House position that is actually named in the Constitution in Article 1. The Speaker of the House is the third in line of succession to the presidency after the Vice President. The Speaker assigns bills to committees. The Speaker also influences assignments to committees and appointments of committee chairs. So the Speaker of the House is the most powerful position in the House of Representatives in that chamber. The Senate Majority Leader is the real power in the Senate, although the Vice President is the President of the Senate. But the Vice President will only vote in the instance of a tie. Otherwise, the real power lies in the Senate Majority Leader. The Senate Majority Leader is the most visible member of the Senate. The Majority Leader often meets with the Speaker of the House and the President and is elected by members of his or her party. The President pro tem of the Senate is a ceremonial title given to the most senior senator in the majority party, and he presides when the Vice President is not available. Now, congressional sessions are numbered each time a new House of Representatives is elected. Each Congress lasts for 2 years and physically convenes once a year, a session. This is specifically provided for in Article 1, Section 4 of the U.S. Constitution. So let me ask you this: why did the framers institute 2-year terms for the House members and 6-year terms for the senators? Let me leave you with a few thoughts to consider. What do you think were the historical reasons for the length of the terms? Why would the framers in the late 18th century be thinking about such term lengths? Would serving 2 years make the House members closer to the people and therefore the public's shifting view? Did the framers want senators to have more long-term perspective to protect the nation from abrupt changes? Would the Senate then provide more stability? Remember my comment about blending stability and liberty? Were the framers of the Constitution careful to prevent America's government from becoming like the monarchies in Europe? Is the House term shorter so that members will be more accountable to the voters? And what are the problems with these term lengths? Are House members constantly campaigning and raising money? Or do some senators become too aloof from their constituents? Join me next time when we discuss Article 2 of the Constitution on the executive branch. Again, my name is Anne LeBlanc with Excelsior Classes. Until we meet again.